Welcome to another exciting episode of DxTalks. This is season 3. This is the third episode of season 3. So hopefully we'll see season 4 and 5 and 6. Want to really thank all the participants. I want to thank the speakers today. They are amazing people. They are leading in their role in different places. We're going to be doing more of the GCC leaders in different episodes, also very focused on really what's happening in the area. So let me share my screen again and proceed. T-minus. Okay, so please mute your microphone at all time. You can ask any related question in the chat box. We will open the questions in the end. And we will dedicate time frame for you to ask questions. You can raise your hand at any time also. We will be running a couple of polls and feedback survey. Also, this session will be recorded and streamed to YouTube Live and later on to Spotify. You can follow us on DxTalk WhatsApp group. We will post the links in the next couple of minutes. So my name is Rudy Shoushany. I'm the host and moderator and founder of DxTalk. My background is ICT governance, cybersecurity, and digital transformation strategies. Just wanted to share the latest updates of DxTalks. This is season 3. This is episode 42. We have more than 47K views on YouTube. We hosted more than 70 plus guests, more than 5,000 participants on Zoom, and more than 2.6 million minutes on Zoom interacting with you. This is all possible because of you. So our session today with Mr. Yasser Alobaidan. He's a digital transformation leader, innovation, and the CEO of Jawra. And today he gave me some more good news. And he's also delivering on the Saudi Arabia 2030 vision. I will welcome you in a couple of minutes before we proceed. Mohamed Roushdy, Mr. Mohamed Roushdy, also a very good friend and a leader in the area of Fintech, open banking and innovation. He's founder of Fintech Bazaar and member of Fintech group of Arab Monetary Fund. This Thursday, on June 16, we will be actually part of the Arab Blockchain Week. DxTalks will be participating in the Arab Blockchain Week, talking about the latest blockchain related that is happening in the area. Don't forget our 26th of May, DxTalks Wednesdays. We will be having also MakerDAO, stablecoin developers, to explain more why this foundation is actually making a change in the world with some use cases that are happening. Also, we will be on the May 31st, next Monday, we'll be having cybersecurity in the GCC session with Mr. Mohamed Al-Kallash, Dr. Hamad Al-Khalifa, and Abdulrahman Nimari. So, as we said, there will be polls throughout the session, so make sure to really join them. So let me welcome Mr. Yasser first. Mr. Yasser, please introduce yourself.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Rudy, for the opportunity. So as you can see, I've been working in this industry for the past 21 years. Basically, most of my roles are in business development, and then I found myself as an entrepreneur in digital transformation. So I've been running Jawra and 7 other companies in the past 8 years as a founder and entrepreneur. and also incubating many other companies within the business of digital transformation, and also supporting large corporates that are interested to invest in Saudi to enable the platform here to support them in the growth of digital transformation. It's great to see you and see Mohamed Roushdy, and looking forward to add some value to this discussion.
Thank you, Yasser. Mr. Mohammed, please introduce yourself so we can go to the next.
My name is Mohamed Roushdy. I'm Chief Information Officer and Fintech professional, and I've been working in the financial services and technology for more than 25 years. Very proud that this year I got the IDC 750 award, which is one of its kind this year. And I have been active in the area of digitalization, digital transformation, mainly in banking and financial services. I've been as well very honored to start for banking. For banking, a startup between 2006 and 2014. I started for Islamic banks in MENA, as well as the first conversion from conversion to Islamic banking back 2001. I'm very happy to be here, and I have to thank Rudy really for inviting me for this great channel and episode. Always, I'm always attending, and really I enjoyed it very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you also for your support, for always being with us and trying to support us also on this platform. We're trying to really grow this platform, and then the way it grows is by having people like you and Mr. Yasser and the rest of the participants, really. Before we actually start, each one has a different background in going into the digital transformation. I'm going to ask Mr. Yasser about the first question, before we really dive in was it in the Saudi vision and so on. What are the elements of success in KSA or the kingdom that is really leading this digital transformation revolution that is happening?
It's a very good question. So basically, when you go into digital transformation or any kind of transformation or change management, the first question that is asked is, what's your objectives? What's your vision? What you want to deliver? On what time frame? And Saudi, with the guidance and vision of Prince Mohammed bin Salman, we had a clear vision of what we want to deliver by 2030. We want to be a #1 leader in the region. We want to be a digital savvy. We want to be an export. We want to empower women. And there are a number of targets that we have, clear objectives when it comes to deliver what 2030 has to deliver for Saudi Arabia. And digital transformation was an enabler. So in order to deliver all what we have, and seeing that the world is moving through digital, Saudi have made a promise that we want to set up the right platform, the right enablement, the right environment for any company who wants to go into that direction. And the first step is digital. So that's why I think the most important thing in this regard is having the clear vision of where we want to reach, and having a digital environment is basically a clear enabler for us to reach that direction.
Yeah, thank you, Yasser, for that. A clear vision, I think, is the way to start in anything. And the kingdom, I think, has really set a clear vision towards the future. Mohammed, regarding what's happening in the UAE, and you've been there for a while now, and you're actually based there. What's happening in UAE also? Because there's a lot of, same thing, energy. There's also a lot of, innovation. You've covering more the fintech side. Do you mind telling us in general first before we dive?
Yeah, that's right. I think
what's the vision?
UAE started the transformation years back, and I believe there is a vision which is 2021 and 2020. Also, they had, there is some milestones were there put from before, and I believe the country going in a high speed from a digital transformation point of view. Dubai, for example, they have till 2021 in a number of blockchain cases, which is the whole government is going for major transformation, like what you can say the cashless as well as paperless journey using a digital identity. The country, it's amazing, the first country in the world which have an AI minister, an AI strategy for the whole country. So the transformation is really in a full speed, knowing as well that as many of the international companies, international centers are here as well. So the momentum is very high. And the great thing happening here between Dubai and Abu Dhabi, for example, you have different fintech centers promoting, fintechs. You have the IFC Fintech Hive here in UAE. You have ADGM and Hub 71 in Abu Dhabi. Similar like what you have in Saudi, Fintech Saudi, Bahrain as well, Bahrain Fintech Bay, and the collaboration happening between them as well as other external partners like Singapore and others. So I believe here we have really, it's a very fast forward digital transformation. The number of fintechs, I think they have the highest number of startups in the Arab world is in UAE till date. And I think I call Dubai the Silicon Valley of the Middle East. And I think other countries, other cities like Riyadh, like Bahrain, I think other people are doing a great job as well.
Yeah, thank you, Mohamed, for that. There's a lot happening in the world. I just want to say to our participants on Zoom and on YouTube, you can put your questions in the chat. We will be taking them from those two platforms and consolidating them here. For those who are watching, please stay tuned, and whatever you have, please put them in the chat box. Yeah, let's go to our second part, which is let's dive into the vision, 2030 vision, and try to really understand where does that vision they really want to be. What is it? What's making them, jump from G20, and I think the target is G10, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe G9 and G8 and so on. What's that vision, and where is it going? What's really the value added that it's going to bring, and what is the economical impact?
If you allow me to start here.
Yes, of course, it's for you.
Thank you. So I believe it was very clear when Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman came into office as a Crown Prince in 2016. He said that the wealth of Saudi and the income cannot be sustainable for a very long time if we don't do a dramatic change. So we cannot be solely dependent on oil. We have to have alternative sources. We have to enable the entire government and the entire citizens. And we have to do very critical steps in order to innovate and create other source of revenue. So this is one major concern from a government perspective. Secondly, is we need to allow also, as any concern of any government, is to lower the unemployment rate, to increase the wealth of citizens, and to see how we can create a greater economy and to be competitive in the world from a very clear KPIs. We see the World Bank that issue on a yearly basis, the competitive analysis, where Saudi has been from an income perspective, from a GDP perspective on a high scale, but from productivity, from export, and from human development, it was not there. And that's one of the main reasons that an entire study came in and come up with a very clear plan. So like any other, countries today are like companies. You have to have a very clear vision with a smart KPIs, and you have to convert this vision into a strategic plan, and then you have to do execution on this plan and measure the changes on an yearly basis. So we have went from a 15 years vision of 2030 in 2016, but we have the 2020 implementation plan, and from there, the government have distributed clear KPIs to all ministries to deliver on these KPIs, to see the growth and follow up on that. The good thing today, and because I mean, we usually see vision, 5 years vision in different countries and even with our country previously, but we don't see the feedback, we don't see the implementation, we don't see reporting. So this time it was very transparent. The Crown Prince comes to public at least once or twice a year, announce what we have delivered so far, what we need to do, what changes that we have to do through the vision, and that create, let's say, alignment between the governments and citizens. Today, if you ask any 10 years old child in Saudi about the 2030, he will be aware of it, at least on a high level. If you ask anyone, what's your participation on 2030, they would have said one or two things about their participation on the 2030. So saying that, it's a beautiful. So it's not only a vision, it's also a leadership, which means everyone is aware of it, everyone is participating of it, everyone is going on a daily basis, thinking of what he can do more to participate on this 2030 and get an honor of doing change in there. For me, when I did this and tried to work on participating on 2030, I want to make Saudi better. For me, I want to make it better for my family, and mostly for my kids when they grow up and say, Yasser or my dad was there and he did a success, and that's why we are here today after 10 years of operation, after 15 years of operation, that this is the fingerprint of my dad's work. That's what keep me moving on 2030.
That's beautiful words when you align into something very personal.
Yes.
For you to go into another dimension and make it really personal for advancement of your, not just the general public and citizens, it's yourself and your family. Beautiful. Thank you, Yasser. Mohamed, UAE is also on that mission to really go into that digital or e-government and digital transformation. Your role was more on the fintech. Can you give us and shed some light what's happening in UAE on that front? Where are they going? What's the future is going to be? What are they trying to do?
Yes, thanks a lot, Rudy, for the question. The great thing happening here is that there's some kind of collaboration happening between different entities, different stakeholder ecosystem partners, because when you are doing digital transformation, going into fintech and others, it's very important to align all the parties. We could see that, for example, Smart Dubai came with a great thing about the UAE Pass with the TRA, and then started bringing in government organization to be in, and then private sector. So really the transformation happening here is bringing everybody. From a fintech point of view, I think regulatory bodies and regulation is very, very important. So you cannot regulate fintechs easily, but you can build the sandbox, you can build the environment where this kind of fintechs can grow, can test, can get aligned. And that's a great thing happening between, we have Dubai, Abu Dhabi, some happening also some in other areas in UAE, where you have sandbox, you have, a fintech accelerator. And this fintech accelerator really is doing a great thing, not for UAE, by the way. Many, even the companies, which is, very interesting fintech companies happening in Saudi, for example, were graduated from Fintech High a few years back. So since this was the first accelerator happening here in the region was Fintech Hive accelerator, it's the same happening in Abu Dhabi. So they bring all the fintechs, which is, I think they bring it from all over the world actually, not only locally, not GCC. Even I believe last year you got from international markets as well. Some fintechs came into the accelerator and the incubator to test their ideas here and see how it's working for the market here, and they were graduated from the fintech accelerator. And the great thing about this one, they are not only the fintech accelerator here, it's a very good model. They bring the fintech companies, they bring banks, which is very, very important, the incumbent, which is they are serving the market of banking and financial services. And then they bring, consulting companies, major advisories and so on, and major IT companies are there. A central bank and others. So we bring all of this together. They look at all the ideas and they start to work out, ways for make this thing success, and how the banks will get, benefit out of this fintechs, and how the fintechs will help the economy or the market. And what is the great thing, I could see it even this year, some of the accelerator incubators here, they start having a mission statement. Okay, this year for B2B, for example, we let us invite all the companies in the cohort this year talking about, working with banks, for example, or B2C or something else. So they start even looking at, see what is the demand of the market, and then bringing people in to address this demand. As well, I could see some banks are doing great things on the same time. They start creating their own competition, fintech competition. We have in here 2-3 among some of the major banks or some even mid-sized banks. They start, giving a problem statement for fintechs and asking fintechs to come and show their, innovative solution for this, how to sort out this. So this is, I think, is bringing a big vibe and a big life here for fintechs. I was there in one of the accelerator, and I was really amazed when I was walking down, see all these new fintech companies, and there is very young entrepreneurs, very young developers, and so on, sitting, many of them working and doing. It's like I said, it's like a hive. It's like a hive, like a beehive. So we are talking, an atmosphere of entrepreneurship. So I believe the UAE succeeded really of putting this entrepreneurship ecosystem, and I think this is bringing also benefit for the whole market, because we could see even other areas in GCC is doing the same. We could see that some of these fintechs, which is started to do collaboration with banks. We have some very good examples between fintechs which are working with banks in UAE, with banks in Saudi, in Kuwait, in Bahrain, in other regions as well. So I think that the benefits is for everybody, and the ecosystem, is being built in a good way, and I think it's getting mature day by day.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yes, I think that fintech is really playing when they, when the public shares their problem with the private, and especially with the young people, and in a fintech mentality, I think big results can happen. And this brings me to my other question to Yasser. 60% of the kingdom citizens are technically the youth or youngsters. What message do you have for them, to really try to change or try to take that vision, or take your experience, or to transfer the kingdom into the actual, or where it's supposed to be, or to the future,
Okay. Usually here, when you go on a government perspective, in order to support delivering the Vision 2030, they can play a number of roles. One is having the right policies and procedures and systems to govern and enable innovation and supporting the vision to go. Two is to support large corporates and medium-sized corporates and small medium enterprise to go and deliver on that vision. And three is by promoting this as a leaders through their speeches and feedbacks. Now, the second stage would be coming us as entrepreneurs, as corporates and SMEs, what we need to do in order to participate in the 2030. Because people today who are 10 years old and 10 years from now, they are the ones that will be the working force in the kingdom. So we need to enable them. Enable them could be done by having the right education system and the right innovation platforms and the right capital to support them to innovate. We are not expecting everyone to be an entrepreneur. So we are expecting different industries, different areas to nurture as well. And we want corporate citizens, people that believe in the structures and the systems and work hard to deliver on their KPIs. Both of them are extremely important. Today, for example, at Jawra, we do what we call shadowing, which would enable having fresh graduates connected directly with experts and learning from them over the coming 6 months to take at least 70 to 80% of their load and learn a lot from them. So, and this shadowing program that we are having is becoming beautiful for the past 2 years. And the result is that many of the people that we have hired and developed now are in leading positions in many large corporates and governments. And we are proud of this. We don't want to keep them forever, but we want to be an incubator for such people and a school for them to learn from there and go and participate in the 2030 version. I believe one way of me as a corporate, me as an entrepreneur to support the youth is by having the right environment for them to innovate, the right environment to participate, the right environment to learn and to see the future a little bit from an entrepreneur angle.
Yeah, thank you, Yasser, for making this clear. I just shared Yasser and Mohamed LinkedIn. Follow them, interact with them. The more, whatever you need, they are more than welcome also to connect. They will drive you to their channels. And with that, I'm going to ask another question, Yasser, about Jawra. What is Jawra? What is the role of Jawra? What are you trying to achieve in Jawra? What's the mission and what's the future of Jawra?
Okay, so this is more promotional speech.
Because you're participating as a person and as a company in really bringing
yes,
advancements.
So so I came from my background in school is computer science, but my background in business, I work with telecom operators. So there was that telecom background for the first 10 years of my business from 2000 until 2010. What I have learned, there has been always that struggle or the competition between telecom and IT, okay? And everyone will say, oh, IT will die and telecom will take over, and then telecom will die, IT. It's like Microsoft and Apple or, the normal sense. So, but what we have learned through that these two coexist and support each other. Today, and especially, we have gone through waves of changes and the technology perspective. So in the early 2000, it's all about connectivity. We were competing from 2G to 3G to 4G. It's all about speed of internet. How can we connect to the houses, how to connect to the people and so forth. From there, from 2006 and 7, we went into the wave of applications, especially with Apple coming in and supporting this. A lot of people download applications and so forth. This application wave created data, huge data. So we went into the data phase around 2013-14 and collected a lot of clouds. Now with the blockchain in the past 3-4 years, with the AI and BI. Now it's all about analytics. So what I see, digital transformation is the mix of data, telecom, and connectivity, as well as IT enablement, building that platform to support any industry and any business. So telecom or IT or digital is a mix. And today we have seen this, because digital today is not only a telecom and IT. There's media coming in. Now, many of our new generations don't watch TV. They watch YouTube, Netflix, everything from their the palm of their hands. So we have seen that move. The three industries are merging together through a digital platform. So that's how we do and what we do in Jawra. Jawra is a digital partner. We work with governments, with large corporates, with SMEs on enabling them in digital. It's today digital is not a luxury. 10 years ago, maybe it's a luxury to have a website. Today, having a website is not enough. It's mandatory. And we have seen last year COVID impact on many countries. And that was a clear stress test for many countries who have not gone digital, to see that they have lost access to support, to services, and so forth. So I'm glad to see that UAE today is competing with Saudi, and we are competing with other countries in digital services. And governments there is there to support through the right governance, through the right procedures, and through the right processes. But we as companies like Jawra, we want to compete in innovating and creating the right processes and drive governments and as well as corporates to go through that digital journey. That's a brief of our Jawra. We provide digital experience and take our customers through that journey.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think you're right. And a little bit of competition is actually good to make things move in a positive spin, of course.
Yes.
Mohamed, regarding UAE, or actually Fintech Bazaar, can you tell us more about that? What you created? What's Fintech Bazaar?
Yeah.
What is it doing?
The Bazaar is like souk, the idea here for the Bazaar is to bring the innovator, the fintechs and the regulators and policymakers, as well as the banks and maybe VCs as well in one place. We're working on this one. At the same time, we're working on something new. Hopefully, we'll see it soon, inshallah, in open banking. So this is where the Bazaar comes. Even the Bazaar, as I said, is something which is bring all the stakeholders together in Fintech Bazaar for our region only, for the Middle East, inshallah.
Yeah, great. Okay, you work with also the AMF.
Yes.
Can you tell us more on this part of?
I think this is a great thing to talk about. Arab Monetary Fund, I'm very honored and pleasure to be part of their the FinTech working group, which you look at all the regulation and all the development happening in the FinTech area, and they bring recommendations, they bring papers, they bring guidelines and policies for all the the fintech areas. Like there is some publication and guidelines for open banking. There is fintech index, and tomorrow, inshallah, and after tomorrow, there is a very interesting meeting for AMF about the fintech index. We're going to see a fintech index for all the Arab world, and alhamdulillah, also I'm very honored to be part of Islamic fintech paper or part of this as well. So the guidelines for all the central banks for around 18 to 22, the member banks for AMF, they give them the guidelines how to utilize the fintechs, what is the areas, and they're bringing all the big stakeholders from IMF, from the big international bodies. They give presentations, they give guidelines, and out of these, the AMF comes with its own guidelines for the Arab world. And I think there is very rich part of these, policies and processes on, guidelines, publication for all the things which talk about, open banking, blockchain. You're going to see about blockchain, distributed ledger, and Fintech more. So I think it's a great time. I'm very happy that we have tomorrow and after tomorrow a big meeting. And I think by next month, we're going to even have more publication and more guidelines, which is really very beneficial for the ecosystem partnerships. We are bringing all together under the AMF umbrella.
Yeah, thank you for that, Mohamed. Hopefully there will be, the past year, I think COVID has pushed everything towards digital, and this is a big thank you to COVID. Of course, we, there was a lot of death, there was a lot of panic and so on, but the positive thing about it is it really pushed us towards more citizen, if you want, hopefully more citizen centricity, more solutions oriented, and so on. Junaid, you have a couple of questions. We'll get back to you, and hopefully we'll let you go on stage and ask your question live. So please keep them coming. Brahim, same to you. I'm gonna be launching the second poll. Well, we appreciate your help in answering these. I'm gonna ask you another question, Mohamed. You won the IDC CIO top 50 awards. You were selected as part of that awards. IDC is trying to also, empower this, and how and why. What was your role? Tell us more about this award.
I have to thank IDC because IDC, even they approached me at the time I was moving from one company to another. And when I said, guys, I'm moving, they said, no, we could hear that you've done something. Because the use case of digital transformation was in a prop tech, not fintech. It was there in the market and it was really published by one of the magazines. And they said, no, we'd like you to nomination. It was a nomination really, and it really was like, it was a great for me because also my nomination come number 13 out of the 50. So they have some kind of ranking. So alhamdulillah, that's really great for me. And what I have done, I've been working in the financial services for more than 20 years, But last 3 years I work, while I was busy with fintechs as well, I was working in real estate and PropTech and a group of companies with Dubai Holding and West Management. And then when I went there, the company did not have a digital footprint. And I implemented the digital footprint for PropTech, properties and real estate leasing, where the customer can come, go and view something. You want to move to an apartment or a villa. You go and view it. You like something. You go back home. When you go back home, you don't have to go back to the company again, because as soon as you log in, you're going to get a link. You download an app, and then you can see all in the link in the app. You can see all the apartment or the assets you have seen. You see which one you like. You want to put the contract for it. You click. It takes you to UEPass. And this is the digital identity in UAE. You sign your contract using UEPass. There is no papers. There is nothing. You pay digitally by credit card over installment over 6 months, even 12 months or whatever. And then all what you do, you move into your apartment, live in your apartment. The day you live in your apartment, each and every thing you are doing digitally. You don't call the call center, even we'll stop calling the call center or allowing the customer to call the call center and to put any kind of a request. Everything was digital. So at the same time, we were the first company as well to do WhatsApp, services over WhatsApp, not only chatting. You can even do a service request over WhatsApp. You get the number, you get it. So all of this was done less than 2 years. So it was a PropTech and one of the best, its kind. I think there is no company in the whole GCC or Middle East done the whole journey from start to end like what we have done. So it's something, complementing to my work in fintech and digital transformation. Really, if you did it if you're doing it in banking, if you go in another industry, still you can do it right as well. It's a model and a strategy and enthusiasm, before anything. So I think this was a great thing. I'm very proud with it. After being in banking for a while, I'm back to banking and fintech again.
Yeah, thank you for that, Mohamed, and hope for more achievements in the area.
Thanks a lot.
Yasser, question that, you are a leader, you are on the innovation, you are a CEO, and as you told me behind the scene, soon, hopefully, the chairman. all of these are traits of leadership. So what do you think, in your opinion, are the success factors for leaders in our region? What makes them leaders? How can we identify leaders? Do we need actually more leaders to, try to really change our area?
Of course. So I believe I'm still not doing enough, even though with all your compliments. So thank you. And but we have an obligation. If we are leaders, then there are people who are following us and believing in us, and that is a great responsibility before we go and proceed on making any decision. So for me, I think a leader has to have high business ethics. A leader has to have very clear vision. A leader has to have great followers. So selection of the right people, selecting of the right environment for these people to innovate and produce is what makes a leader, led or lead by example. So if you are a leader of a company and coming late and doing nothing and making bad decisions, you are a leader for a failure to happen. So what I'm saying is a leader has to lead by example, by working really hard, by working with high ethics, by selecting the right people. I always am proud of having people that maybe are much stronger than me financially to work in finance, much stronger than me by working in business development and so forth. So I need to bring the right people that complement me and work with me on a very clear vision. So everyone that we hire, we tell them, this is our plan for next year. This is our plan for the coming 5 years. And this is your participation. Are you in or are you out? It's not easy to happen, but we'll make dreams come true. And so this is number one. Number two, from my perspective, I treat all team members as family members. And I make sure that they believe this company is not just a company to work over 8-7 hours and leave, but rather this is their own business. So they can see the fruit of any delivery that they do on a level on their percent level. So, and this is where you go and set the KPIs, set the right processes, and make sure that you have the right governance model. Today, this is today my last day as a CEO. Starting from tomorrow, I'll be a chairman of this company. The company is going into a process of being listed in public market. And the reason we are doing this is to have a very sustainable growth. So sustainability is very important for us. Growth is very important for us. And in order to do that, we have to have the right governance model, the right processes and procedures, and the right people to lead this company. So it's very exciting time for us. It's a very hard work, but leader, I believe, is for you to go in and take, with your hands all the dirts and for people to see around you that you are a very serious businessman.
Yeah. And I think you mentioned something that, for you to grow, others need to grow also indirectly.
Exactly.
So this is, having the eye for other people to help you in something you're not, at your best, but knowing where and who is has that leadership in his role can really elevate you as a leader also. Yeah, and treating people as a family, I think this is one of the rare traits that, most companies don't really have. If you have this, good luck, and really for such amazing, in the end, it's a culture. What you are giving is a culture. Exactly. I'm going to start taking a little bit questions from the audience. For our YouTube, some of the people that asked for the link of Zoom, I just posted it there. I saw a couple of people joined here. Keep your questions coming on YouTube or on here. Junaid, can you open your mic and ask the question, please?
Yeah, thank you very much.
You have 3 questions. Do you mind asking one of them?
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I will just summarize everything in one. Thank you very much,
But
first of
state
all,
to who
providing.
you wants your
Yeah.
to answer.
Sure. Thank you very much. First of all, thanks to you for providing this platform to talk and listen wonderful views about leadership and also about this Fintech Bazaar from Mohamed Roushdy and from Brother Yasser as well. So my question in this digital transformation, because this is going to disrupt the whole organization and countries and policies and procedure everywhere. So you are basically now going to shape the future of your country, not only the country, but that would help the people to grow and use the technology that would enhance their lifestyle. And by doing this, the challenges we are facing in digital transformation is a cultural setup, and then the security around those artificial intelligence, machine learning platform, IoT, smart security, smart solutions are coming in, which are based in this. So, do we have any framework of the security which will embed and help to take the lead to take this digital transformation forward by giving a confidence to the customers that the solutions they are going to use and the platform they're going to use are more secure and resilient and provide best solution?
Yeah, I think your question can Yasser can answer this if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir. Please. Thank you.
Thank you. So yes, digital transformation is in the heart of it is a change management. So yes, we would need to change the culture and how people work. This means we don't need to store or to have a server anymore in our basement, but we would rather need to go cloud because cloud is more secure than your own security system. And this has been proven by many cases. But you need to have the right security man that go into a digital security. Now, instead of, if people wants to steal a company, today they will not go and knock the door and go and take gold from that company anymore. Today they will go online and try to take some data from you. So your data is your biggest and most important asset. So that's why you need to have a security procedure and processes to protect your assets, your data. And this data could be email, could be a file stored on your laptop, or could be on your cloud. And that's why you have to have certain training. For us, for example, we have to go through, everyone in our company has to go through that, learn, and having the sensitivity of how data is valuable. Today, you cannot just go and reply to all if you know that some of these guys are not related to that email, or they could be a threat to that data. Today, you need to make sure that you sign an NDA with someone before you share any digital information. Today, you don't need to send an open file, but you need to go through a locked file and have it expired in a certain period. So these are culture that you need to change within your environment from a security perspective. The second part of your question is regarding the disruption. Digital transformation, not necessarily to be disrupting an environment or an industry. Yes, disruption is one area, but also enablement or innovation. Okay, so disruption is one and innovation another thing. So we always been saying and talking about looking at the blue ocean, because the blue is not as crowded as the red ocean from a strategic point of view. So sometimes you disrupt your industry by creating something that changed the entire process, but sometimes you innovate a new product or a new area that nobody has thought about it. So if you want to go innovation, you always think of what is your pain point today. So your today's pain point is a potential area of innovation. And last but not least, I believe that everyone in the organization needs to somehow learn a little bit of algorithm, because algorithm will make logic sense to every process. And from there, you go and have your disruptive team or your innovation team convert that into a product or a service. That's my feedback on your
No, that's great. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. It was quite interesting answer and learned. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna pass the question somehow, Mohamed, if you want to add to it. But before you add, I just want to add my salt. I think what Yasser is also mentioning is trust. In the end of the day, you are selling a trust in your culture, and from there it drives all of the elements that Yasser talked about. Mohamed, if you want to add something, because you have a question also from Ibrahim Emir, please open your mic when Mohamed finishes and ask the question, please.
Yasser said, I think, all what we need to say. I think that change management here play a big role. And I think the culture change is a big part of any digital transformation. And always it takes really a good element there in your plan. You know, how can you bring people into speed? How can you do, awareness is very important, by the way. It's not only equipment of AI and ML. No, it's own awareness, people awareness about the security, awareness about what is the benefits they are getting and how much, they have to give. Now we have even, the open banking and AI and so on. You can even, the customer will be able to approve yes or no for his data to be shared. So I think all of this come as well with tools which allow us to gain the confidence of the customer. Thank you.
Yes. I think the way things are going, more digital, that means more, breaches, more. So we need to start it from zero. Yes, Brahim, please go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Rudy, for arranging this talk, DxTalk. Actually, I do agree with Mr. Yasser and Mohamed and all the digital transformation concept and strategy. Without a winning strategy, here is the difference, and I have faced many of my customers here, especially in UAE, although I cover all the Middle East and the GCC. They stress on a winning strategy rather than putting a strategy in place. And my question goes to Mr. Mohamed Roushdy related to Fintech, as he mentioned that there is a demand. He is noticing too many demands. I don't know if his team or himself, within his experience, he noticed some demand related to SVA, the stored value account or the stored value cards. With that, I would like to hear his thought and opinion on this topic or on this area, and if there is any regulatory terms published from the UAE Central Bank or any government agency related to this aspect. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Most of, I believe, now we work by use cases. So the use cases of using cards, or using any equipment or any algorithm in payment, this has to be really tested thoroughly and making sure that this is okay as per the regulation. There is nothing specific to the stored value card, what you mentioned, but people or the fintech companies, you work in mainly use cases. Lots of fintechs going in the payment side, and we see lots of innovation happening around the payment. And even now, the wallet, I would say, everything going digitally, from being physical or using a card, or using a point of sale, to the card or the wallet, using the wallet. And you can see the encryption ways, like the highest encryption are being used now with the blockchain and the cryptography. It does play a role as well. It will come to the payment and see, like how much this will be secured. But this area, it's a very busy area from technology and development point of view, the payment and the cards. I believe, I'm talking about even the normal card, stored value card. The security protocol should be in place, and it should be tested, and you should make sure that really that everything is secure. And this is what people try. And this is maybe something we're going to talk about fintechs, because fintechs, they need also from the other side, they need lots of back end and lots of work from other incumbent, and then which is really they have the muscles and they have the means and so on to support fintechs in this area. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. But just another question.
Yes, please.
Do you have any use case, or you have developed any use case around this area, the SVA?
No. For to my knowledge, no.
Okay.
And to my knowledge also, no.
Other countries might have, but for my knowledge till now, no.
Thank you.
Natasha, I'm gonna let you open the mic and ask the question, I think to Yasser, if I'm not mistaken.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good
greetings
afternoon.
from England. I'm CEO of Intact Digital, and my question really is about this importance of, in addition to business, or B2B, provisions for digital transformation, how to engage with citizens, because the success, of course, depends in the end on the adoption. And sometimes the business, coming from my own experience, it's easy to have a vision, but if it is not fully connected both ways, top down and bottom up, I'm just wondering what are the mechanisms now to collect information from the citizens to advise about the services. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Natasha. Your question depends on the service that you are offering. So if I'm a government, then yes, of course, I need the feedback. And for the Vision 2030, there's a full program on digital and on change management. And this program also has, to go through processes. One of these processes is to have a small group to test and think the ideas over and brainstorm to see what is the effect. Another way is to engage them through the social media, whether it's Twitter or Instagram or Facebook and so forth, to see what the feedback of any changes that is planned. But there is also the official way where, for example, the current brands on a 6-month basis comes in and say, we are planning this. Actually, the Vision 2030 was established in 2016, but then every 6 months we say, okay, we have done through this route, but we have faced some issues. We will go this route, or it gives us a feedback of what has been done so far in the past 1 year, in the past 1.5 years, in the past 5 years, and what we delivered and what we are planning to do. So when it comes to digital transformation, for example, we have exceeded expectation. Today we are in Saudi, the second fastest nation in the world when it comes to internet speed and to connectivity, to people having access to internet. And that's a huge improvement, because 6 years ago, we were at 86 most connected country in the world. So to go from number 86 to number 2 right after Japan in terms of connectivity, that's a huge achievement. And so what happens next? Because that was a target for 2025 to reach, and we already reached it in 2020. So there are a number of steps that now for example, the Minister of Telecommunication and the regulatory are working on enhancing their KPIs to reach to a new level. So it's not about only connectivity. Now it's about innovation, about improvements of services and so forth. Today, 85% of government's services are provided digitally. How? Because they listen to these people. So we have sources where we go and do field experience, see what services that needs to be digitized and digitize. Today, every service, mostly, and 85% of services that you want to do and you have to go through an government is now done in your iPhone. So communication is from public to citizen. It's usually done on a broadcast level. Now, from a corporate, from B2C, from corporate to customers or to citizens, here we intend to do 2 levels of field surveys, where we do public surveys over online and so forth, or we do closed groups discussions, where we go and see of our existing customers or customers that have not been connected to us on why, and go through the process of understanding the reasons. And that's, I would say, the difference between G2C, or government to citizen, or corporate business to a customer or to a citizen.
Yeah, Thank you, Yasser. I'm just gonna share a small slide regarding not just the GCC, actually the Middle East and North Africa, regarding the UN e-government status, and we can see that KSA has, did a big leap in 2020 in the EGDI index, which is the e-government digital index. And the same thing for UAE also, that they are on the forefront of this. So as you said, Yasser, it's true. Advancements are happening very fast. Dr. Abdullah, before I take you, I just want to share a small video about, because I was teaching a course on digital transformation to a bank in the kingdom, and I came across that movie. Just let me try to share it 1 second, if you allow me, because I think it's a very important to visualize what is really happening in KSA altogether. Sorry, just taking 1 second. Don't know why it's not showing. All right. So meanwhile, Dr. Abdullah, please open your mic and ask the question.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. Can I?
Yeah.
Am I heard? Yeah, okay. My question is to Brother Yasser Alobaidan. Since Maldives is very well known for tourism, I just wanted to find out from him, how can the digital transformation help the promote or increase the business of tourism? A very big question, but very short question. Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, connectivity between the islands and the resorts to the customer from the B to C. Yeah.
It's. I think this question is a $1 million question.
Exactly.
So somehow we need to find a way you pay for this answer. But anyway.
Okay, I will do it.
Let's talk logic. So I'm brainstorming right now, so it's not a direct answer, because this has to go through proper analysis. But let's look at what Saudi has done in terms of tourism. One is having the right infrastructure, and Maldives already has that. So for us, we had to start from scratch. Two is to promote, and promote means today you cannot go and promote on the normal TV ads and so forth. Today you need to have social influencers. You need to have engaged in the social media. Today you have to create that digital experience for your country or the islands that you want to promote.
You have to innovate also on that.
Yes,
that's true. Yes.
And third, today with the world that is very well connected today, and people are all over the world, can go anywhere, you need to have differentiation. What makes Maldives different than anywhere else in the world? What experience you can offer to people to come and visit Maldives? So customer experience, we always talk, when I talk to the government here in Saudi, we talk about customer journey. How this customer, who is your citizen, would experience and go through that experience journey. If you cannot create a differentiation and evaluation of that experience, you will lose that potential customer. Okay, so think about that. What things that Maldives have that no one has? And you have competitions. You have Seychelles, you have Saudi now promoting Red Sea and so forth. So you need to find that distinguished experience and build on it, and use the digital as an enabler.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. So I'm going to share quickly the video. Let's.
في هذه البلد نشأنا من أرض هذه البلاد الحمد لله، وتكونت دولتها بجهود أبنائها.
كل عناصر نجاح موجودة لخلق شيء عظيم كبير. أهم عنصر لدينا هو الشعب السعودي ورغبة وإرادة الشعب السعودي.
رجال بقامة وطن، عزما وحزما وشموخا وإباء، قيادة حكيمة ملهمة لشباب طموح، بهمة تعانق السماء، شباب حقق بعلمه وشغفه إبداعا وابتكارا في ميادين العطاء، فكان تحقيق التحول الرقمي الوطني أولى محطات النجاح، بحقائق وأرقام تعزز مسيرتنا نحو مستقبل رقمي واعد بمزيد من الإنجازات. المملكة تحلق في سماء الرقمية وتحقق الإنجازات العالمية.
I'm sorry for the non-English, non-Arabic speakers, but this video is about the KPIs that they were achieved throughout the digital transformation that happened. If you have any comment, Yasser, on that, or I think you already mentioned a lot on them. We have a question from Joseph. Interesting talk. My question: how do you see the business culture in the GCC and MENA region is open to the idea of growing business before going after the profit? Because digitization, business will cost human capital and innovation, not only financial investment. Mohamed, I don't know if you can answer that, and Yasser also.
I think, this is a very interesting question, really, because nowadays, most of the startups, you look at market share, you don't look at profitability. So now you can see lots of even the VCs, they are really putting lots of money in the region, and even it happened over till date, maybe they're not doing a profit, but they are taking market share. So I think there is a big emphasizing getting, the basis and getting market share, getting people to like the product. And then later on, once you have a big market share and you can scale with different countries, you will be able to make money and so on. There is some different schools here. Some people, they like to go slowly, and then they build their own entrepreneurship and their venture, and they make sure that in 2-3 years from start making money. Others, they would like to become big and and so on. So it's different schools. Nothing is wrong since there is a value the consumer getting, and the company has really a good strategy and a good vision that at a point they have to be profitable. I think Yasser can add from his point of view. He has many companies, inshallah.
Thank you. No, it's a good point, Mohamed. My take on this is when it comes to innovation, and that's one of the biggest mistakes many entrepreneurs have, is they expect to go into a unicorn very fast. So they look at only economics of, okay, I want to do this, to do an exit strategy, and I build it costing me $100,000, and I want to sell it for $1 billion. And in normal cases, it doesn't work. What works is, what is your strategy? For me, and for all the businesses I'm doing, is I'm trying to solve problems. I'm trying to help country. I'm trying to help citizens. And from there, I create that value. That value, whether it creates a unicorn for you or not, it's a cherry on top of the entire pie. If we only look at economics and return of investment, I don't see Uber as a value of $30 or $40 billion today, because it does not worth it from a pure numbers valuation perspective. But because they created value, to many people, to people who needs a job and find a job in driving cars, or to people who wants to go to places and could not find a taxi, and now they have a request by, with an app. That value created this unicorn. So try to solve a problem, try to add value, create that value, the economics will work out. Without creating that value, the economy will not work out.
I think you touched the most important part. I mentor many startups and many companies, and especially on the startups, we've seen, especially in the early stages, they don't have a problem. They're trying to solve something, but there's no problem. It's not defined. It's not really helping people. It's not enhancing lives. It's not, all of this. That's, I think, what you said is excellent. First, solve a problem. And then you have to love also what you're doing, because some of the people, they do it just for the business, perspective, and usually that fails. And Ibrahim, I'm trying to look for the link. I'm not able to succeed, but I will try. If not, I will send it also in the next email. You'll be receiving an email anyhow in the next broadcast. And I'm going to thank Yasser and Mohamed really for your presence, and for the people that stayed. For our YouTube followers, really thank you. I'm going to take the last question. If anybody has anything to add, thanks, Joseph. I have a question from YouTube, I think, to Mohammed, if I'm not mistaken. What is the best, what was it? Sorry, just slow. What is the best incubator you advise? I'm sure it's in the GCC or in UAE.
No, see, I mean, it depends on the use case you are having, and where you are present, and where you can, you can connect with. I think each and every, we have great places nowadays. I'm saying about UAE, we have the FC Fintech Hive, we have Hub 71 and AGM. Saudi, they done a great since Fintech Saudi started in 2018, and they are going at full speed. Bahrain Fintech Bay is doing great. I think all of them, all of them are doing great. And the only thing now is the use case, and make sure that they are ready to take it and support it. And you have already the ecosystem partners are there. Any one of them will do great for you, because I think they are all, I would say, 5 stars. And I think we are lucky to be here, because they are investing with the government and investing in this incubator and accelerators, and any of them will be okay. I think they are all great.
Thank you, Mohamed. I just want to read some comments. Mark Thomas says, this is great information. Thank you for sharing. Marie says, thank you, Yasser. She has a question. I'll get it back. Bob says, excellent session, really good. KSA is jumping and leaping into the future. I'll go back to the question, how can we connect or work or help KSA in its vision? I think this is the last question that we have.
First visit vision2030.com. You will see the entire vision of Saudi Arabia established there with the plans on a 5-year plan. Second, understand who you can help and what you can help with. And from there, you approach that organization or that area or that industry, or partners within that industry to support you access the services that you can offer. But first, understand what is the vision. Read it. It's nice to read. Even if you're not for Saudi, just if you want to do it within your company or within your country. It's a very, very solid, long, detailed of what and why we are doing it. And very important, this is the why, because once people understand the why, they are connected with you. It's not only we want to do that. There are reasons behind it. So understand the reasons, And if you can apply it to your family or to your organization or to your country, do it. And if you can help within our country, feel free to knock doors either to me or to anyone that can support.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Yasser. And I'm really gonna thank you both. I think this was, thank you, Alain, for sharing the link of the Vision 2030. Thank you, Rudaina. Thank you for all that who stayed. Again, thank you, Yasser, and thank you, Mohamed. Really, I think this was a great session, a lot of information, and hopefully you have inspired many people that are here on YouTube, and you're going to be inspiring more people in the future also. That is for sure. Thank you again. I don't know if you have the last word, so before we conclude our session for today.
Yes, sir, please.
Thank you, Mohamed. Well, first, thank you, DxTalks and to Rudy for having us here and giving us the opportunity. For me, my last word is you should have a dream. And with that dream, you should have a clear vision on how to deliver this dream, and don't stop. Every day, do small things that can add to your dream.
That's great. Thank you. And I would like to say thank you very much, Rudy and team and Yasser, for this exciting and very interesting session. I would say the same, like people, I think digital transformation is a journey. Try to enjoy the journey where you are going in the journey. It's not an end, actually. You don't finish digital transformation or transformation. You keep reinventing yourself. You keep reinventing, the economy or the environment around yourself. And nowadays, we are in a very interesting, exciting time, entrepreneurship time era, I would say. And then make sure that you know how to learn. You have to learn how to learn. So it's a learning time, learning curve, enjoying time, and we are very happy to be connected with you at any time and exchange information and help you. Thanks all.
Thank you both. Really was pleasant again for me. Thank you for all that who stayed. And with that, we'll see you on Wednesday in one of our Crypto Talks Wednesdays. Stay tuned and see you later. Bye bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.
Salam.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.